Multiplying multi-digit numbers together is very straightforward, as long as you already know your multiplication table facts up to 10 and that you follow a few basic steps and set out your work very, very clearly. If you do that, you won't go far wrong. Let's try an example. This is a nice, simple, straightforward 2-digit question. So we write down the question first, making sure we put the units underneath each other and the tens underneath each other. Make sure you write down that there's a multiplication sum, that you don't forget halfway through and start adding it. And leave yourself plenty of space. So let's start with the 8 times 3. That's equal to 24. We can't write 24 in one column, so we write down the 4 and we carry the 2. Next, we're going to do the 4 times 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. Don't forget to add the 2 that we carried from before, so that makes 14. There's no more digits on the top row, so we can write down our 14 and we get 144 there. Okay, this is the bit you mustn't forget. You need to put a 0 in the units column on the line below. We do this because we're going to start multiplying in the tens column next, so everything we get is going to be a multiple of 10, hence the 0. So let's do the multiplications. First of all, 8 times 2 equals 16. We write down the 6 and we carry the 1. 6 goes in the tens column and the 1 goes in the hundreds column. The last one is the 4 times the 2, which is 8, plus the 1 that we carried, which is 9. We can write that in as there's no more digits on the top row to multiply. And now we've got 2 rows of numbers and we have to add them together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. Write down the 0, carry a 1. 1 plus 9 plus 1 is 11. Write down the 11, and there's our solution. 1104. I think you'll agree there's nothing massively difficult in there. It's just a lot of steps to remember. The key things are set it out correctly with the units and the tens underneath each other. Make sure you do your carrying and you write the carries down, otherwise you will forget them. And then don't forget to put the 0 on the second line before you start doing the multiplications as you move through the question. Let's try it with 3 digits now. 3 digits is exactly the same process, it just takes longer. So we're going to go through this a little bit quicker perhaps than we did the previous example. 8 times 3, well that's 24. Put down the 4, carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus the 2 is 14. So we put the 4 in the tens column and carry the 1 into the hundreds column. And then we've got 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we can write that into the column. Now don't forget to write the 0 in the tens column underneath the 4. So now we can carry on again. This time we're going to be doing 8 times 2 is 16, so write down the 6, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 1 that we carried gives us 9. And then finally 2 times 2 is 4 that we can write into the thousands column. Now the next tricky bit. We are going to write a 0 in the tens column and a 0 in the hundreds column because we're moving across to multiply the 3 now. So 8 times 3 is 24. Write down the 4, carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus the 2 is 14. Write down the 4 and carry the 1. And finally 2 times 3 is 6. Plus the 1 gives us 7. Now of course we've got to add all these numbers up. 4 times 6 is 10, put the 0, carry 1 in our heads. 7 plus 9 is 16, plus the 4 is 20, plus the 1 is 21. Carry that. 4 times 4 plus 2 is 10, 0, carry 1. And that gives us 7 plus 1 is equal to the 8. Now I said I was going to fly through that quite quickly, and I think we did. There is nothing that difficult, No really tricky steps. There's just a lot of them. And when there's a lot of steps to be done, the only way that you're going to get them all right is to write down what you're doing as you go along so you don't lose track of what you're doing. It's very easy in the middle of answering one of these questions to just get distracted. And if you've not written down a carry or you don't know where you are, then you will lose track and you'll get these questions wrong. Make a note of what multiplication you're doing, highlight it with a pen or something, and make sure you always write down the carries. If you keep it neat, keep the columns in the right place, then you're less likely to make mistakes and you're much more likely to get the correct answer, however many digits it is that you're multiplying together.